Welcome. It's nice to meet you. Let's start this interview. Tell me about yourself to get us started.
That's such a broad question. Where do I even start? Should I talk about my hobbies and interests? My last job? Where I went to school?
What is your greatest strength?
What are my strengths? Do I have any strengths? Oh my gosh.
What is your greatest weakness?
I get bored easily. I neglect detail. I procrastinate. I'm a perfectionist. Where do I even start?
What do you not like to do?
Well, I hate doing monotonous daily routines. I hate being told what to do. I hate being confronted and criticized.
Why do you want to work for our company?
Well, the salary and benefits are nice.
Why should we hire you?
Because I really need this job.
Did you have any frustrations at your past job?
Yeah, that's why I left. My boss was horrible.
How do you take criticism?
Oh, I don't. Because I do everything right.
This is why you need to be prepared before you go into an interview. So you don't go into an interview like this. This is the example of what you do not want to say at an interview. Of course, I'm sure you all know that. If you're watching this video, you're not going to go in and say like, just demonstrate on broadcast all your worst, your horrible weaknesses and say that you hated your boss and all these things. Like, I hope that you don't do that. No. Okay, you need to think about these questions in advance because they're pretty tricky and you're gonna get these tricky questions in an interview, and especially the ones about talking about your weaknesses and your frustrations, what you don't like. It's tricky to maneuver around this because what they really want to know is like how you can be a great asset to their company. They don't want to hear about your major weaknesses that are going to hinder their company. They're going to see actually how you were able to overcome your weaknesses and how you're working to do better. Don't be blunt and honest about all your weaknesses that you haven't been able to resolve yet. You should continuously be working on those, but when you're at an interview, you should be focusing on the things that you actually are succeeding at. Think about your strengths. What are you doing well at? What were you doing well at your past job? And think about the things that were hard for you, that you struggled with in the past, and actually how you were able to overcome those things. So when you're talking about weaknesses, you should kind of maybe even share a story about something that was hard for you and how you were able to resolve it. So you always want to turn it around into actually a strength, a positive thing. You want to be positive about yourself and confident in your interview. Let's say that your weakness is perfectionism. You can be really down on yourself and you can basically just, it's hard for you to actually maybe submit things in on time because you want it to be perfect, and so it causes you to procrastinate and then you can't meet the deadlines. But you can turn it around and say like, you're very, very careful and you pay attention to the details, you make sure that you always do your best work, and you're working to improve in setting your own personal deadlines so that it doesn't always have to be absolutely perfect, but as long as I can follow whatever like the standards is of the company, then that's the most important thing. Just you don't have to always reach this perfect standard. Just use it to your advantage in talking about how it's made you to just focus on doing your best in everything. All right, so that's one. And then what about, let's say you struggle with your confidence. You're just not very confident in yourself. Maybe it's because of lack of experience. compared to other people. If you don't have very much confidence in yourself, you could say that you're trying to build up confidence by learning, because you're coming into this job hoping to learn as much as possible, and you're just very open-minded, and you also have many other of your own experiences that you believe that you can offer to this company. As you're talking about the things that you are hoping to grow in, you can talk about like what things that you already are good at, and like just always try to incorporate your strengths and tie them in with your weaknesses. Maybe you are not very detail oriented, then you focus a lot on the big picture and you can think of many ideas to solve the problem. The secret of acing an interview is being able to know how to turn your weaknesses into strengths, and always just try. This is your time to actually shine, and you want to actually boast about yourself, about your qualifications, about your experiences, about the things that you're good at, like maybe other people have told you that you're good at. Like always just really focus, just drive those points in about yourself. And if it means that you need to maybe ask other people what they think about you, ask your last boss like what areas that they think that you did really well in, and ask maybe the areas that you maybe need improvement in, and it can give you an idea like, okay, what other people really think about you, and it can give you some ideas of what you can say for your interview. And also it can boost your confidence. My last video was about actually like how to turn your weaknesses into strengths. So you can go back to view those as examples of maybe things that you can say to turn those weaknesses around and focus only on the positive things. But they can be very tricky because you don't want to say a weakness that could be actually bad for the company or wherever you're applying. It could turn them off to you. So just try to be very careful, choose wisely about the weaknesses. You don't have to share all of your weaknesses, but just choose the ones that you know that you are becoming more comfortable mastering and you've been able to progress in and overcome over time. So I hope that helps you for your next interview. These quick tips is just be confident in yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but just focus on your strengths. Fill yourself with positive energies before you go into that interview, and just, you have to tell yourself like, I got this. I know that I am going to get this position. You have to go in already with that confidence in you and not think about things like, I'm not as good as the other person, I'm not as qualified as the other person. You can't think about that. You have to think of, why are you qualified? Why are you going to be the best candidate there is for this position? Come in with that mindset. Have a little speech prepared and have some self-talk, positive self-talk before you go into that interview. And then I'm sure you will do a great job. All right, that's all for today. I will see you.